and Paul's excellent adventure, a 4-year voyage while living on a cruise ship.
So I had to take the rental car back. We've had a lot going on today. Right now I'm heading over to get Lynn, who I dropped off at the terminal with all of our bags, a whole stack of them. And she's been waiting for me while I've gotten the car returned and so forth. And here she is. Look, it's Lynn! Waiting here for us. She's been waiting for what, about half hour, 45 minutes now?
A long time.
But now we gotta get all these bags into the airline. Your bottoms down. Here we are on the plane. I'd say it's a full flight.
No turning back.
No turning back now. Very tired right now. After a flight, a 5.5-hour flight, we have made it to Panama. And our ship waiting outside. We're just waiting here. They're going to probably let us board here in about 30 minutes. We're at the terminal in Colón. Colón 2000.
Yeah.
Our cab driver got us here safely. Good guy.
It was a long drive. Yeah.
He drove very fast too.
Yes, he did. Very fast.
Especially in the crowded streets of Colón.
Yeah.
He did say that Colón is dangerous, and he said he didn't recommend us walking around alone.
Sorry.
And it did. Yeah, you're really yawning, aren't you?
Very tired.
I think Lynn is looking forward to seeing our cabin. We'll probably see it here in the next hour. Actually, get to it, and hopefully they'll have a bed made, and we can take a nap because. We left Los Angeles at about 10:20 or so, 10:30.
Yeah.
And we flew overnight. Of course, we gained 2 hours in the process, so we actually got into Panama into Panama City about 6:30. Was that about right?
Something like that, yeah.
And got through the airport, got through customs fine, no problems that way.
My ears are still plugged up.
We had a little problem with them wanting to see all the electronics that we've taken, so we had to
That's your fault.
I know, it's my fault.
Usually it's me who puts something weird in the bag.
That's right.
Tell them about our bags.
Well, yeah, we do. We haven't told you. I mean, we need to back up a little bit because we left San Diego for Los Angeles yesterday. Yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All the days are kind of running together.
Yes.
And we decided we had to mail some stuff at the FedEx store. So we noticed when we walked in to mail stuff that they had a giant scale there, like a luggage scale. We said to play it safe with our bigger bags, which are those two bags right there, that we better make sure that they're under 50 pounds because 50 pounds is the limit for those bags. And we got there and the black bag was 8 pounds over and the green bag or gray bag, I guess, was 3 pounds over. So we ended up going back to our storage area trying to find 8 and 3 pounds, essentially 11 pounds worth of stuff that we could offload that we could just pick up next time we're in San Diego.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing that.
And guess what? Our bags are here. So.
Yes, our bags are here.
Yay.
We got to the counter at the airline.
And we were just holding our breath.
And we set them on the scale and
She took them.
Everything worked out. I think we did okay. We must have just barely made it. Either that or we were close enough. She just said, "Out of heck with it."
Well, and then you had another piece of electronics. That's our storage drive.
Yes.
In your carry-on bag.
Right.
And everybody has to take that out. And
Yeah,
look
everybody
at
had to check it
so.
because it looked unusual. So, anyway, we're going to wait here for a few minutes, and then hopefully we'll be able to give you a little tour as we walk onto the ship.
Yeah, can they see the ship from?
Yeah. Yeah, you can at least see the back part of it. We were just really pleasantly surprised when we got into dock, but it was really good to see. So, yeah, that was kind of neat. I think they're getting almost ready for us, so next shot will be us getting on. Well, everyone, we are back, and we are on our ship. We're on the Odyssey, and you can tell in the background we have a sunset that is happening in Colón. And
Hi,
Paul.
Paul.
This is our friend
This is
Paul.
our friend Paul.
We should say hi. Hi, Paul is from Fort Collins, Colorado, but he's been on since the ship actually launched. Day one. He's a day oneer. Good.
Good to see you, friend.
But anyway, we need to fill everybody in because the last time we talked to you was at the Los Angeles airport. We were getting ready to board. Here's some pictures of us on the plane that you can see. So
What's awful?
It was a long flight. I think it was
8 hours.
5.5 hours. Lynn thinks it was 8 hours.
It was.
Beg the difference. The actual flight time was 5.5, but since we gained 2 hours, Lynn felt like it was 8 hours. So
It was 8 hours.
anyway,
I don't do well on flights.
No, neither of us really do. I did
You do
sleep
better
a couple.
than I do.
slept a couple hours. I don't think you slept at all. But we made it to Colón or to Panama City. Is what
To
we
Panama
flew in
City,
flew
which was a huge international
Yeah.
airport. I was really
It's
surprised.
a huge city. What we could see
Huge
from
city.
the car.
What, 2.5 million?
Yeah, huge place. Colón is much smaller. It's more of an industrial town. It's
What did they say, about 150,000?
100-some thousand, yeah, I think so. But Panama City, we were a little concerned about how we were going to get to Colón. I had read up, and they said taxis, depending what time of day, would be $775.
Say hi, Reese. Wave.
Hi, Reese.
Say hi. You're on camera. Hi. This is Reese. He's awesome. He
He's one of
takes
the
good
great
care of
people here
us.
on board.
Brought us our Coke Zero. Where are you
That's good
from,
job.
Reese?
Mumbai, India.
Mumbai, India.
And we're going to see Mumbai at some point.
And you're going to give us
Planning
a
on it.
tour, right?
Yes.
You're going to be our tour guide.
We hope so.
I would love to do that, yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
really.
We'll
They
take
should
you up
let
on
you.
that. Yeah, we'll take you up on that. That'd be great.
Good.
For you?
Yeah.
He brought us a couple of Coke Zeros,
Zeros,
that we're
yeah.
going to have.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have been having beer and
English orders for you?
Yeah, you can. That would be great. Thanks. Thanks.
thank you, Reese. Reese really takes good care of us, so
Oh my gosh.
kind of
he's
nice.
Such a nice guy.
He's our go-to guy at dinner, especially.
Yes. If
But-
we want something, we go to him.
But we were a little concerned about getting to Colón because it's about an hour drive, typically about an hour drive. It was a little longer for us because we went, of course, at rush hour, and they do have rush hour in Panama, very much so. It was very crowded.
Holy moly.
But we found a
Morning rush hour because we got here early in the
rush,
morning.
Yeah, but I took the I was going to do an Uber because they do have Uber here now, and I was getting ready to go look and see where the Uber pickup point is, and a very nice cab driver, independent cab driver, because he didn't have an official yellow cab, actually flagged me down, of course, because he really wanted the business, and I like supporting local businesses where we can. And he seemed very reputable. All the people around were saying that he was a good driver and so forth. He turned out to be a pretty fast driver, though, I will say. But we went ahead and booked with him.
But he lived in Colón.
He lived in Colón, so we knew he knew the way to Colón very well. But it ended up being about $100 with tip and all, and also one toll we had. It was about $125 or so. So it was a little more expensive than what I planned.
Well,
But
it was 75 to 85, so just a little bit more.
well, no. By the time everything was paid, I had negotiated around 100 because
Yeah.
Uber was at 95 at the time during rush hour. So. But it worked out well, and we had a great drive over, and Lynn got to spot animals.
Well,
I-
let's take 2 steps back.
Okay.
I have only seen a sloth on the animal shows that I like to watch.
That's right.
The zoo shows. So, I thank you.
Enjoy your food.
Thank you. So I've never seen a sloth. Never seen a sloth. So we were at the San Diego Zoo. You were pushing me around in the wheelchair, remember?
Right.
And they had a sloth.
They did.
So now
And it was the first time
saw-
I think either of us had ever seen
Yeah.
a sloth.
which was very cool. He was very cute.
So on the drive over,
On the drive, I look over, I'm kind of watching the side of the road. Nice, beautiful hills.
a lot of green,
forest,
of course,
green.
beat Panama.
And we were kind of stopped in traffic a little bit, and I went, I think that's a sloth.
And I thought
And
you
it
were
moved.
kidding. I thought you were kidding.
And so I asked our driver,
Mm-hmm.
I said, does Panama have sloths? And he kind of looked at me, he didn't know what I was
No.
saying. And you said, the animals in the tree. And he said, oh, El Perro Soso. El Perro Soso.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the 3-toed sloth. Your word for the day. So,
Good, we needed
El
them.
Perro Soso.
And you saw 3 of them, didn't you?
I saw
on the way?
3 of them on our drive between Panama City and Colón.
That's amazing.
So I was talking to Paul earlier today, and I said, maybe what I should do is when I learn the names of these animals
Yeah.
in their native language, I should share that with you. So
We'll have the word
in
of
the
the day.
future, you might get a word of the day about an
good.
animal,
Yep,
name of an animal that
Yeah.
I find.
that's good.
But it was
Well,
very cool
that's
seeing
amazing.
them in the wild.
Yeah, I didn't know where sloths were natively, and evidently Panama is one of the places. Makes sense. Makes sense with the foliage
Yeah.
and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, we got to Colón a little later. It was probably about an hour and 20 minutes or so when we got there, and it was a little rough looking, quite honestly. We saw Panama City from afar off the highway. It was huge and big buildings and very
big city.
yeah,
like
big city.
any big
Yes,
city.
that's a good way to put
Yeah.
it. And we got to Colón, and Colón looked a little rough because it's an industrial town. It's smaller. And one of the things I asked our driver, because he lives in Colón, he said, is it safe to walk around here? He said, no. He said, guns, violence. He says, no. So we've primarily been near in this stop that we'll show you is that we may primarily been just in the Colón port area, and
which is duty free.
it is. It's duty free at the port, and they have a whole mall over here. You said 200 shops. I think it's actually less because a lot of them, like a lot of malls, are closed up. There were a lot that closed up. But there's also, across the area from us, is also the place where there's a lot of container loading. So this is probably one of the biggest container loading ports I've seen. I mean, it's probably rivals.
So I posted earlier.
Los Angeles,
Yeah. So I posted earlier on our Facebook page. Here's where all your crap is.
Oh, here. All the
And a
container.
couple of people responded. You responded, oh, that's where all my crap is.
All the containers. It is amazing, though. And they work 24/7 loading these barges.
Because
and
they've
ships
got to
and-
go. This is the shortest way to get
Yeah.
across the Atlantic and
Of course.
Pacific. So
Yeah.
to get our crap
Something
to
to see.
us.
And that's kind of the exciting news because we're here at dinner now. Did I miss anything?
Well, I
got to the
slept all
ship.
day yesterday.
Yeah, you slept all day. We got to the ship and checked in. It was a little tough because there was a pretty tall, long, steep stairs going up to the ship, and we didn't realize that. We were
It
kind of
was
hoping
very tough on me.
we would be able to wheel you on in a wheelchair, but that wasn't going to happen. So we got on board, and they were very nice in getting us to our cabin, and we kind of hung out in the cabin, and
I fell asleep.
yeah, you
in
fell asleep.
2 minutes.
And you must have slept. You slept a lot of hours.
I
will
slept
say.
all day yesterday
Yeah.
and then all night.
Yeah, I did some exploring. It's very warm here. It's very nice right now in the evening. Cools off beautifully, and there's a little bit of a breeze, so it's really nice right now. But it's been a good day, as this kind of being our second day on board and the second day in Colón. We hope as we go through this, we want to tell you little tidbits about the places we go. And naturally, when we go to port, one of our goals with this podcast is really to be able to show you a lot of the scenery and locations. And we're already scouting ahead to see where we want to show you places.
I think it was a little hard here because we had just had like a lot of things to do. We had to unpack and organize our stuff
Get the cabin ready.
and all of these things. So, and since there wasn't really, other than a grocery store and an electronics store,
Right.
there wasn't really a lot to show, but we've
No.
shown the beautiful sunset, the container where they load the
Yeah.
containers onto barges, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, some container
Barges
ships.
and ships, yeah.
So that's kind of been our 2 days.
Yeah, we've got some ports in Costa Rica. I've already been picking out some places that are. So there's like a national forest
Oh, yeah.
beach that they have in Costa Rica that we want to show you when we get to our first port there. Looks like a beautiful
Well,
place.
we're going to go to El Salvador first.
And we have El Salvador coming up. We don't know yet what we're going to show you there. So
I can tell you what we're not going to show you.
what's that?
We're not going to show you the prison.
No, we're not going to.
And
the
we're
prison.
not going to be meeting with the Maryland dad.
No, and we're not. We're planning on not going to the prison unless they take us in. But hopefully we
You
won't.
better
get in
be on
trouble.
your best
I better be on my
behavior,
best
sir.
behavior. So I'll do my best. But we'll probably in the next hour or so here we'll shove off from Colón, and
So
we'll be
kinda
traveling a
tell
little
them how
bit.
we'll do this because
Yeah.
I guess I kind of thought if you haven't gone through the Panama Canal, I kind of thought the Panama Canal was like right here.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's kind of
Well, we got to travel
over
a little
there.
bit. Yeah, we got to travel a little bit. So we'll
Yeah.
travel over there. And the
You get in
schedule
line.
right now is that you get in line, and we have a time that's booked. The ship's actually booked the time to go on, and so we're scheduled to go through the first lock. I can't remember what it's called. I'll tell you tomorrow. We're scheduled to go through about 2:00. It's going to take, I think, 5 or 6 hours to actually go
Yeah.
through all the different locks.
There's
But it's supposed to
2
be
or 3?
fascinating.
2 or
I
3?
think there's at least 3, and there might be
Okay.
more.
Okay.
But we'll get up to speed on that and give you a
we'll
little
be filming
view.
that, right?
Yep, we will.
Yeah.
We'll definitely do that.
But we've got to leave the port and we've got to go get in line.
We do.
So we'll be in line overnight.
Yeah.
We'll be at sea overnight. So which is going to kind of be fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's going to be our first time moving
Yes.
on the ship.
First time moving on a ship. It was the first time we saw it in dry dock. We went underneath, but it wasn't even sitting on water.
Do you still have those pictures?
I do, yeah.
You might,
yeah.
might want to show
I'll
people.
show
that.
those and show what the ship looked like in dry dock, where we actually got to go underneath the ship. One area they actually had a section of the ship cut out where they were replacing a water tank in there.
Yeah.
Another area where they were trying to replace rudder stocks on the rudder of the ship. So, it's not ever that most people get a chance to actually go under the ship that they're going to be living on. So we've seen it from all angles. So it was really neat getting on board here and really seeing it mostly completed.
By the way, we love our room.
Yes, and we'll show
love
you
our cabin.
We'll show you our cabin probably in our
On a
next
sea day.
podcast, and we'll let
Tomorrow's
you
a
see.
sea day. We can do that.
For the most part, yeah. So we'll be able to do that and tell you what Lynn's got planned, because she's got some decorating ideas planned.
Uh-oh.
So we'll
oh,
see.
now the pressures. I haven't
Yeah.
done my drawings, sketches,
Yeah,
measurements.
I know. Yeah, you'll have the 3D renderings, computer renderings that you'll do of the cabin. No, we're not an HGTV show, so we can't do that. So
Oh, gee.
we'll figure it out, though. But I guess for now, that's about it. We'll go back to cabin, come up with some music, close this podcast out. But
Right.
next
I
podcast,
hope you have a good dinner.
Yes,
wherever
we're
you're
having
at.
a good
We're
dinner.
having a good dinner.
I'm having Kentucky
the
bacon
food.
and grilled cheese, and you had,
Steak, salmon, and ribs,
boy, you can't beat that.
but only small portions of all three.
Yes, that's good. We're trying to watch that. So, anyway, that's it for now. And we'll update you with the next episode. We'll deal with the Panama Canal and give you some insight as what that's like.
Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye-bye.